Hi guys, I'm Katie Hess and welcome to our channel Tate and Bugs, where we share with you our beautiful and sometimes crazy life here in the country, one video at a time. Lately we have been working on decluttering our whole entire house. Anything that is ours, we've been working on cleaning it out and decluttering it, prepping for the world's largest single family yard sale. I don't know if that's like actually true, but I've been to a lot of yard sales and I'm pretty sure that this is going to be like the biggest single family yard sale I've ever been to. Today's our fourth episode of that playlist, Declutter With Me, and today we're going to be hitting the baby stuff. If you're like me and you're finding yourself drowning in a ton of baby stuff and baby equipment and baby clothes, or if you're a new mommy that wants to avoid those things, then this video is for you. If you're just trying to find some general decluttering motivation, or if you're one of our loyal subscribers that watch all of our videos, then this video is for you too. Okay, decluttering baby stuff. I have been dreading this for a really long time, and that's why it hasn't gotten done. I've been dreading it because I didn't really know what I needed to get rid of, and so I've just been keeping for our next kid, and then maybe our next kid, and someday I'll use it, and I just didn't know what I needed, so I just avoided going through things. But mostly B, that's B in sign language, not for B. Not only am I a home decor hoarder and a rug hoarder and a crafting supplies hoarder, I'm also a sentimental stuff hoarder. And there are a ton of things that have been given to us for our babies, for Toby and for Carter. And I've just been keeping it, not necessarily that I think that they're gonna want it someday. Like, they're not gonna want all the onesies they were given, you know, but it was just so kind for people to give us those things and to bless us with things like that we needed. But just from two kids, we were given so much stuff, and I'm so grateful. And the last thing I want to do is go through and be like, oh, so-and-so gave this to me, let's get rid of it. Like 6 of those things, you know, like how much am I supposed to keep and how much am I supposed to get rid of? And that's something that I've been really having a hard time with and really dreading. And I think it was Farmhouse on Boone. I think she was talking about minimal baby things. She's saying, you know, when people give a gift, the gift has done its job once it's been given. And they don't expect you, like when I give somebody a gift, I don't expect them to keep it the rest of their life and to ask them 20 years later, how's that treating you, the gift I gave you 20 years ago? You know, like, I don't expect that. The gift has done its job. And so I think that's gonna be really hard, but I'm gonna remember that as I go through and declutter things. Because the last thing that giver is gonna want in my life is for not necessarily that specific item to cause me stress, but it to play a part in that stress. So if I have like 20 baby blankets and they're all sentimental and I keep them all, sorry about that, then my baby blankets are gonna cause me stress because I have too much stuff, and stuff stresses me out and clutter. So that's what I'm gonna work on. It's gonna be hard, but that's what we're gonna do. There are so many opinions on what people think that you need to have for your baby. Specifically the market. The market wants you to think that you need everything labeled infant. And if you think about it, back in the old days, the pioneer women, they didn't have bouncy seats and swings and play structures and high chairs and multiple special silverware for baby. Like, they didn't have all that. They just made do with what they had. And history has done pretty good. And so I think that's just a marketing ploy that we feel like we need to have all those things, but we actually really don't. Now it's time to go through and analyze everything that we've got, everything I have, and decide what I really truly do and don't need. Now keep in mind, this video is not a minimalistic video whatsoever. I've addressed that in my other videos. I am not a minimalist. I like stuff, and I just don't want to be under the pressure of stuff. And so I just want to gear towards decluttering and not having a ton of things. But just remember, this is not a minimalistic video. I don't know if I'll ever be capable of making one of those, ever. It's more of a follow along with me and see what I feel like I need, and let's see how much stuff we can get rid of. Hopefully through this process of you watching me declutter my baby things, it'll help inspire you and motivate you to go through either your baby things or just your stuff in general and decide what you really do and don't need, and hopefully help you get rid of some stuff and free up some mental space in the process. Okay, so to start us off, before I even went into the room and looked at what I had, I I made a list on my phone. I made a keep list. That way I didn't see something and think, oh, actually, I probably really do need that. I went through my mind, which I'm sure that's gonna happen anyway, but I went through my mind and thought of everything I use and everything that I feel like I need. And then I made a get rid of list. So for the keep list, we've got bouncy seat and a Johnny jump. I currently have a bouncy seat and I don't love how big they are. And so I really want to get a Johnny jump, but we only have one door frame that actually has the ledges. If you saw any of our renovation videos, you'll see that we made like faux beams and they went to the ceiling. So I'm gonna have to think of something creative. I might drill holes and put hooks in because you could wood fill it, stain it, cover it up later, but I feel like that would be beneficial. I'm not sure, I just don't love stuff on the floor. Second, a crib and a wedge. That's really, really helpful for when they're sick. I really, really love my co-sleeper, but I am looking into getting a Moses basket because I really like the way they look and they look cozy and more lightweight and you can pick it up and move it around. This swing has saved my life. A friend gave it to me when I had Toby and it has been so helpful for nap times, taking him to the shop, taking outside. Like, this swing is awesome. A high chair for when he starts eating. A play structure like this one. This one's really great, but I have a plan on making a prettier one that is also collapsible. You might see a video on that some other time. A sound machine. This has been super helpful, especially for our noisy type of life with constructions and things going on. Now, this boppy could be on both of the lists, the keep list and the get rid of list, but it really is helpful that it comes all the way around him, around his back and down his sides, and it just gives him a little bit of support. I don't use it for breastfeeding anymore, but I mostly just use the boppy for tummy time and for playing on the floor to prop him up. But if you wanted to put this in the get rid of list, that would work too, because you could totally just use pillows. I've got these stainless steel spoons and forks that my sister gave me, and I love them. They're perfect. I love that they don't have plastic or rubber, but I love that they're small and not pokey. And then I've got 3 of these bottles just in case for emergencies. So far, praise the Lord, I haven't had any issues breastfeeding, but come time, if there is an issue, I want to have nice bottles. And then just a few small containers for baby food to take when you go, little snacks or whatever. You could probably use normal Tupperware, but I really, really like my glass Pyrex, and I'm not gonna take my glass Pyrex out and about. One of the biggest tips I have, animal poo bags. And that sounds silly, but if you go to the kids section and buy these, they're so expensive. But then you go to the animal section, you can get a whole ton of them for way cheaper. The bumbo seat for me is a really big must. I feel like it gives the baby a lot of independence at like such a little age, you know. And that's something also I would sit on the table and feed Toby when he was little, and instead of the high chair. Toby, it's time for lunch.
Toby, it's time to eat. All right, how about some yellow squashes? Yellow squashes. Oh. What do you think? Not so much? Oh, is that bad? Is it really that bad? Oh, how about some applesauce? Applesauce is much better. Ooh wee, that was a close call, huh?
Obviously a car seat, and I really love having 2 bases, one for each vehicle, so you don't have to constantly move that around. And this stroller, it's a snap and go stroller. I love it. It's so small, so easy. Mine's a little beat up right now because we use it a lot, but it's so helpful. I've got this jogging / rough terrain stroller over here on our property. It's really helpful just to be able to tuck him in there with some blankets and taking care of the animals and stuff. It's really helpful. I love my Ergo Baby carrier. I love it, love it, love it. Around. Both of my boys have absolutely loved it. Car mirrors are really helpful so that you can just always see and make sure your baby's doing just fine in the back seat. I'm gonna keep 2 pacifiers, one for the go and one for home, for Carter Lee. He's a big pacifier fan, and so I'm going to make sure that we always have them, but I don't need a million of them. 2 should be fine. Another thing that isn't a must, but it's been super helpful, is this bath flower. I think it's called a bloomin' bath. It's been really, really helpful, and I remember when my mom gave the babies baths, she would put towels in there, and so it's the same effect. You could totally just use towels too, or not, but I love the security of having that underneath a slippery baby. I have a ton of bath rags and a few towels, but I'm just going to keep 1 towel and probably 5 bath rags. I don't need anything more than that. I'm going to keep 1 diaper bag. I didn't even have to put that in the list, 1 diaper bag, but it's a baby equipment, so I put that there. I'm going to keep 1 diaper bag, and then this I'm going to keep as my in-car emergency. And honestly, this has been so helpful. I needed it the other day because if you guys are like me, I'm not a type A personality. Things fall apart and I'm kind of a mess. But this is a really, really great keep in the car emergency bag. It's by Skip Hop, and it's a changing pad, and then it has a couple zippered compartments, and this actually can zip off. This is the changing pad part for wherever you may be. You just keep a few extra diapers and baby cream and stuff, because if you're like me, you forget your diaper bag pretty often. And so this is helpful, just remembering, oh, that's in the car if I need it. Just make sure there's not like newborn diapers only and you have like a 6-month-old baby. That'd be a bummer. As far as toys, you really don't need very many. I think toys are definitely marketed to the parents because we see them and think they're so cute. But the babies probably have their favorite few that they can easily hold and easily put in their mouth. And so I'm going to go through the toys a second time. I've already gone through them, but I'm going to go through a second time and keep things that I know that he'll play with or eat. Time for the blankets. I'm going to keep 2 warm blankets, 2 summer blankets. This sleep sack has been very helpful. I made a video on how I made this. If you want to go back and see that, here's the link for that video. I'm going to keep 2 crib sheets. I don't think I need many more than that. You can only use 1 at a time. And then I'm going to keep 3 of the muslin swaddles / burp rags. I use them as burp rags. Sometimes I use blankets as burp rags. I'm really awful about carrying around a burp rag and a blanket. So I went ahead and made a list, a number list of what I think I'm actually going to keep. And here is that list. 2 cool hats and 2 warm hats. I'm going to keep 4 or 5 pairs of socks depending on what I find. I'm going to keep, this is where it's going to get tricky, 3 fleece warm sleepers, 3 soft cotton ones, like just the cool ones, sleepers, and 3 actual like just onesies for like when it's hot outside and stuff. And this is in each size. Until they're crawling around, I feel like they don't really actually need real clothes. I'm also gonna keep 3 favorite outfits, and outfit as far as like it's not a jammy, it's like an actual clothes. And unless I forgot something, oh, bibs, I didn't talk about bibs. I'm gonna keep like 3 or 4 bibs. So that is my guideline. We'll see if I actually stick to it or not. All right, now it's time to go and see how much we can actually get rid of. I've always been really organized as far as like, you know, making sure that 18 months are in a bin and the 18 to 24 is in a separate one and all that kind of stuff. But regardless of how organized you get, sometimes you can still just have too much stuff. And with him having that many clothes, it just causes me to have so much extra laundry, because why would you go wash laundry if you could just go pick something out that's already clean? And then it just creates this big, huge extra pile of laundry and just creates extra stress that I don't particularly want or need. This bin is literally bulging. It has size 6 and 6 to 9 in it. It's gonna be so hard because just by organizing some of these clothes that people have given us into other bins, like there are so many cute things. Should I save it? Or should I just stick to my guns? I can't save everything, Carter. Do you expect me to save all the baby stuff? All right, I went through blankets and things along those lines and got rid of a bunch of blankets, bunch of spit up rags that I don't use, a bunch of muslin type blankets, and kept only a few things out. I still have to get to the top shelf and do the sheets and things like that, but I'm gonna start doing some clothes, and no better place to start than newborn. So I might get kind of sad. Stay strong, Katie. There's the infant newborn stuff, and that's the get rid of pile. I'm gonna have to probably bag those all separately so that they can be organized at the yard sale, because if they're not organized, people probably won't dig through and buy a bunch of stuff. All right, 0 to 3 months, let's go. What we're keeping, that second pile is what we're getting rid of. So far, so good. All right, now on to 3 months. All right, this is what we're keeping in size 3 month. I love these. It's just t-shirt material basically. And then we've got 2 fleece ones, and then these bottomless sleepers. And that's our get rid of pile. This is so hard because there's so many cute things like this. I love these colors. And this is just one example. Like, what am I supposed to do? Keep all the cute stuff? I can't do that. All right, now we're up to the 3 to 6 months, and this, my friends, is full of 3 to 6. Not 3 to 6 and 6, 3 to 6. Let me tell you guys how hard this is. These are 3 to 6 months, like they're in that zone. There's no way that my kid's gonna be walking this early. Well, I mean, possibly, but keeping stuff because it's cute. I can't do this, guys. I can't do this. All right, 6 and 6 to 9 is next. This has labeled 6 and 6 to 9, but I'm gonna keep them in completely separate bins. So I gotta go through and find the 6s and do those first, and then I'll do the 6 to 9 after that. Okay, so it's getting a lot harder because these are clothes that Carter has not worn at all, and I don't know what to do. So as a tip for you, what I'm currently doing is just making a no pile. Not necessarily that I don't like the things I'm putting over here, they're just, I know that they're not my top preference, my top preference. So that's what's going over here, even though there's some really cute stuff over there. And I know for sure that I love footy jams. My aunt got him these. Oh my goodness. These are like, this is the bee's knees. This is what I want for all of his clothes. They're a waffle knit, and they have the footy, and there's buttons all the way down. They're perfect. So I'm keeping things that I like, I know I'm gonna like up here. And then these are the maybes. So now I need to actually decide how many sleepers, how many, and it's getting into like the bigger kid clothes, not bigger kid, but it's 6 to 9. And so there's like jeans are starting to pop up in the pile and stuff like that. So I gotta decide, I just gotta decide. All right, so I'm keeping a little bit more in the 6 to 9 bundle than I should, because no, this isn't 6 to 9, this is just 6. But here's my get rid of pile, and this is what we're keeping. Baby steps, right? And this is our get rid of pile. Okay, now it's time for sizes 9 and then 9 to 12. This is our massive 12 pile. Oh my word, this is crazy. Coat, pants, shirt, pants. Okay, so that was a really hard one because there were so many things. Hopefully we didn't overdo it, but it's still a lot less than I had in the original pile. All right, it's another day and we're here to clean out some more clothes. This is a really time-consuming process.
Can I have?
It's taking a long time.
Can I have a gumball, please?
Sure, that's fine. All right, we left off at 12 to 18, so it's time to pick it back up at 18 months, and let's go.
let's do 18 to 24 months as well as our 24-month buckets right now. Okay, so it's weird with the whole transition sizes. There's never as many clothes in those sizes. There's not much left in that bucket because there isn't that much to begin with. But I feel like he moved from the 24 months and the 2T like almost at the same exact time. I asked my mom because I wasn't sure like what's the difference, because 2T and 24 months is the same age. And she said basically one is made for a baby and the other is made for a kid. So it just depends on the personality of your kid at the time, like where they're starting to act older and be older and not needing onesies and stuff like that. So I feel like Toby basically skipped the 24-month stage, so I don't think we'll be hurting for clothes because the 2T box is pretty big. Let's see. Alright, let's do the 2T size. We're just emptying bins, guys. Alright, so this is what we've got. And I know that's way more than we need, but at least I got rid of a big pile. It's the pants. I have a hard time with the pants. And then, okay, no, it's not. It's all of it because he could probably get away. Okay, I need to redraft this. I'm gonna cut down on both the t-shirts and the long sleeve, I think. Yeah, I gotta go through this again. Okay, so I've been working on these baby clothes for well over a week. Yeah, and I'm ready to be done. We've got 4T, 5T, and 6T to go through, and then shoes that are too big for Toby, and then all the shoes and socks and little mitts and bibs and hats, all that stuff to go through too. But for the most part, like, I feel like the hard part's over with, so I'm just ready to get this done. You gonna let me work for a little bit? Yeah. Awesome, I appreciate it. So these next upcoming sizes for Toby, the 4T, 5T, and 6T, he doesn't have very much variety in there, and so I think I'm going to keep a list on the notes section in my phone for when we go to yard sales and stuff, so that I know exactly what I need in each size. So what we usually do is we buy ahead for the season in yard sales, or at yard sales, and yard sales, like usually when people see like baby yard sales and kids stuff, they usually just go straight past them, and so everything's usually priced pretty cheap. So that's what we tend to do with our clothes, and it works out pretty good. So as long as we can buy the year ahead for the kids, and that's what I'm gonna do. Keep a list in my phone. Now it's time to go through 5T and 6T, and then we'll be done with the clothes. So we had a tiny bit of 6T in here, like 4 things, and then a little bit of 5T, and then 5T to 6T in this box. And this is my get rid of pile for the 4T. It's really tiny. So now I gotta go through Toby's current size 3T, and then I'll be all done with the clothes. Forgot I had to go through those. So I'm done with all of Toby's clothes, and I'm actually done with all the clothes. So now I'm gonna go through and do all the shoes and just everything else that's left. Alright, so this is pretty incredible that our get rid of pile is bigger than my keep pile. I am so happy and so relieved. All of this, all in here, and there's 2 black garbage bags back there. All get rid of stuff. And we emptied several totes while we were at it. I'm still conflicted about some of the baby equipment like this. It's really handy, but not super necessary, so I'm not sure. I'll probably end up keeping it because that folds flat completely. Okay, so it's been a couple of weeks since I finished cleaning out all the clothes and all of my baby stuff, and I can't tell you how relieved I feel. I think I've said that in all of my decluttering videos so far, but it's huge. Being able to get rid of that much stuff and have that much less stuff in your house, it feels pretty amazing. And even though I didn't take a minimalistic approach to all of this decluttering baby equipment and baby clothes and everything baby and even toddler, I am really happy with what I'm left with. So far, it doesn't feel overwhelming and stressful to me to have the things that I do have now. Since recording all of that, I have gone back through and gotten rid of quite a bit more clothes and lots of bibs. I've got rid of lots of extra bibs, and that is because I have a new favorite piece of baby equipment. I don't even know how you say it, but I got Carter Lee one of those amber necklaces. I've heard a lot about it, and I didn't get one for Toby because he wasn't like a really big drooler, but Carter is like down to his chest drooling. I was going through 2 bibs a day, and so I kept quite a few bibs, and then I went and got that for him over at this cute little baby boutique that we have here in our mall and put it on him, and the next day, I am not even kidding, okay, so he drooled a little bit, but not even enough to change his shirt. It was crazy. So that's probably like right at the top of my list for baby equipment. As far as excess baby and toddler kid clothes go, I definitely want to be more intentional with what I keep and with what I buy. A lot of people give us things, and I think instead of just saying yes to all the free stuff, I'll go through, pick what I want, and see if they want the things back. And then if not, I will pass that on to somebody else rather than feeling like I need to keep everything. And then at yard sales, instead of grabbing all of the adorable stuff because it's a quarter, I will just keep in mind, this is what I actually really, really need. And we actually just did that a couple of weeks ago. Jared's grabbing all this stuff. I'm like, oh, we can't buy all the cute stuff, even though it's cheap. So that's gonna be tricky, but I gotta retrain my mind as far as all of that goes for sure. So yeah, that was probably the longest declutter process. It took days and weeks. It took a long time, so I'm really glad to have it done. But thank you guys so much for joining me on this video, and hang in there for next time. The next one's most likely gonna be home decor, and I'm so excited to go through it. It's gonna feel like Christmas going through everything, and I can't wait to see what I have because I forgot what all I've got. But thank you guys so much for joining me on this episode of Declutter with me. And if you guys are enjoying what you are seeing on our channel, make sure you click the subscribe button as well as that little notification bell so that you can be notified when we post new stuff and so that you don't miss anything. Thanks for watching, guys.